Hello, people watching vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the 2023 Lexus LX600 F Sport. This is now the biggest, most luxurious off-road capable Lexus Toyota product you can buy in the United States since they no longer sell the Land Cruiser here. So today I'm gonna get this thing up in the air, nerd out in the tech specs, see if this thing's actually off-road worthy, and then we're gonna go put it to the test. This just pops off and there's a hitch behind here. The LX600 will tow 8,000 pounds. You could use this thing as a toy hauler. What's the biggest, wait, is that a matching spare? It is a matching spare.
I guess that's pretty cool, yeah.
It's mounted with the wheel face up, which also keeps rock chips off of it. It's got a big single tip exhaust. The LX600 utilizes a live rear axle with a trailing link 4-link setup in a panhard bar. However, with the F Sport package, you get a Torsen LSD with a 3.3 final drive ratio. These right here, tucked on either side of the frame rail of the truck, are hydraulic pumps for the active height control suspension system, which we'll touch on when I take this thing off-road, but they're capable of up to 650 levels of dampening, and that fluid in that pump for the height control is the same oil that is used in the damper. It's a really smart design instead of using air. You can see where it goes into the top of the damper right there. This 4th generation Lexus LX, or VJA310 for you chassis code nerds out there, rides on Toyota's TNGA-F platform shared with the Toyota Tundra. And this 600 F Sport model weighs in at 5,899 pounds with a 52 to 48 front to rear weight distribution. Exactly 69 millimeter outside diameter stainless steel piping. It's dual splits right here after the transfer case, and then single all the way out the back with this massive muffler resonator in the middle. As far as that transfer case goes, this is a full-time 4-wheel drive truck with a Torsen center differential as standard. Fully boxed body on frame design. Whoa, weird. There's like a little portal into the inside of the truck. I bet you that's for a battery goes here for an optional hybrid max system. As far as the transmission goes in this rig, there is only one option available, and it is the Aisin AWR 10L65 10-speed automatic with a maximum torque rating of 650 newton meters, which is ironically 479 pound-feet. Exactly what the engine produces. Up front, the LX has a double wishbone suspension, all constructed out of steel, other than the forged aluminum knuckles. That's nice. Coilover damper, again with that hydraulic-based active height control system. Rear, front. Also, check this out. There's a little plastic flapper doodle inside the wishbone for aerodynamics. That's neat. It's got lots of skid plating all under the drivetrain. Front anti-sway bar is enormous. 37 millimeter. I think that might be one of the largest ever yet. Time for the braking test. No one behind me. Ready? Whoa! Okay. That was shorter stopping distance than I was expecting out of something this massive. It had some like waves to it when it stopped. It was like dipping and then coming back up. Not bad though. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 4-piston monoblock caliper with a 13.94 inch or 354 millimeter front rotor. The wheel, it is a 22x8 with a positive 55 millimeter offset part of the F Sport package, which is manufactured out of forged aluminum. The lug nuts are actually like a smoked chrome that matches nicely. And it's wrapped in a 265/50 22-inch Dunlop Grand Track PT5A tire. It's kind of a highway tire. I'm taking it off-road regardless. We'll see what it'll do. Out back, you get a 13.19 inch or 335 millimeter rear rotor with a single piston floating caliper, and the wheel and the tire, same size as you get up front. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. Bolstering assessment. You know, it actually does bolster you a little bit. It's a little wide, but it does. Heated and ventilated seats, as well as a heated steering wheel that you can have it on an auto feature where it just knows what temperature it should be based on the ambient temperature outside. As far as drive modes go, you turn this dial, it says mode selector, and it can go from eco to comfort to normal, sport plus, sport S plus, and custom, which you can configure yourself. It also changes the gauge cluster to match each mode. And keep it in sport S plus. Slap it over for manual mode and use the paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Those are metal, I think. And turn off traction control. All right, give this thing a little assistance and let it eat. Ready? Go. Yeah. A little bit of torque management there in the shifts. You can feel a little like dip. Dude, this thing rips for how big it is. That's good. This thing's quick for how large this thing is. It's just quick in general. It's like almost uncomfortably quick. Good pop. What? Oh, it's the fuel door. Ooh, hood struts. Definitely an aluminum hood. The roof, I believe, is also aluminum. Most of this truck is. That is a clean engine bay. Just satisfying with all the plastic covers in the right places, not a litter of wires and hoses. Underneath the hood of the 2023 Lexus LX600 F Sport is the V35 Alpha FTS, which is an all aluminum 4-cam twin turbo 3.4 liter V6 that produces 409 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 479 pound-feet of torque from 2,000 to 3,600 RPM. See if I can remove this engine cover. Yeah. Investigate a little bit further. That's a nice engine cover. It says twin turbo on there. There's the water to air charge cooler sitting right in the center of the valley of this 60-degree V6. Digging in a little bit deeper on the V35 Alpha, which it's ironically called a V35 despite being 3,445 cc's, making it 3.4 liter. It has an 85.5 millimeter by 100 millimeter bore and stroke with a 10.3 to 1 compression ratio. It does have Toyota's D4S system, the port and direct fuel injection, which is nice for longevity of this engine. Compared to the outgoing V8 that used to be in these things, you would think a 3.4 liter V6 wouldn't take up much of the engine bay, but the front half of it is all heat exchangers. Yeah, like that. There we go. Time to take this thing off-road. First up, I'm going to do a hill climb test, and I'm not going to do the one with a lot of articulation to it just because I'm on 22-inch wheels and highway tires. Now for off-roading, I can select MTS, multi-terrain select. And as far as those modes, I use the same mode selector dial. Put it into neutral, push this and go from 4 low. You can go from auto to sand to mud and to rock, and that's it for 4 low. Whereas in 4 high, it adds deep snow to the list. That changes the layout right here. You can see it's actually raising the suspension right now. Now, as far as the ride heights go, in the normal setting, it's 8.9 inches of ground clearance. And then in low range and high 2, you have the maximum amount of ground clearance increased. It's up to 11.9 inches, basically a foot of ground clearance. Your ride height is dependent on what mode you have it in, as well as whether it's in 4 low or 4 high, giving you 6 possible settings. Locking center diff. Okay, here goes. Let's see what these tires can do. Not giving it any speed whatsoever of a run up, and I also did not deflate the tires at all. Are you serious? Even with these tires? What? I thought it would spin at least a little because of the tires that are on this thing. I said I wasn't going to do this hill because I didn't have faith in these tires, but they proved me wrong. So very slow, no run up whatsoever. It's in auto. Thing. Yeah, you can feel the back tire slid a little bit. Using that trail cam, keep the big dip in the center of the truck. And like nothing. This thing is a Land Cruiser. This thing is if you put a real off-road tire on this truck, it would be unstoppable. This is not just a mall cruiser whatsoever. This is a real off-road rig. This is sick. I'm gonna test out the downhill capabilities on this thing with the steepest hill that there is out here to go down. So I'm gonna use my downhill assist in crawl control. That's kind of neat. Oh, you use the dial to select your speed. That's smart. Okay, I went on the lowest speed. Yes, please. Man, the resolution on this trail cam is spot on. That is incredible. What does this one do? Is that like under the truck? There's a lot of weird stuff with the cameras. Okay, man, this thing is so huge. It's like really difficult for me to pick the line. I am relying 100% on my trail cams right now because I cannot see a thing. Check surroundings for safety. I'm trying. Now I'm actually using the brake right now until I set my line because I don't know where I'm going down. This is about to get real sketchy real quick. I'm gonna pick wheel up. Okay, I gotta rely on the crawl control. Foot's off the brake completely. Woo! Oh geez! The little robotic wheels are doing their thing. They're a little less sporadic than the last system I tested in the LEXUS. Wow, man, off-road technology is getting really good, really good. This is crazy. Here's where my approach angle is going to be interesting. This F Sport bumper is a little bit better, surprisingly, than the non-F Sport package for approach. Straight. No straight. Good. Got a fairly short overhang in the front. I finally have a purpose for the gravel pit, to test the crawl control feature. I'm gonna try to get this thing out of a hole because it's got highway tires on it. So first I gotta get it into a hole. All right, deck crawl, and I can use my dial to select my speed. Foot off the brake and gas, and just, I'm not even touching the gas. It's accelerating on its own. I didn't have to do anything. Wow, this is a nice back seat. Holy shit, this is nice back here. Rear seats are ventilated and heated. I got my own climate control back here. A vent up here, an oh shit handle, and a speaker. That is super powerful in the rear seats. Shady boy, brushed aluminum trim on the door card. It's all leather. Oh, it's got triple beam dome lights. Get it? Triple beam because the headlights. Oh yeah. Rear seat reclines, back. Well, that makes it easy. The third row is power. Extendo seat. Whoa. I'm like 6'3" in these heels, and I'm comfy back here. My head isn't hitting. I have tons of leg room, and that's where that seat would be. That's crazy. I got 2 cup holders per side, little USB. What does this do? What? Why would I want to do that? Oh, the rear seats recline. That's crazy. They don't recline very far, but my own vent, and I'm getting plenty of air, and this is on low right now. Another ocean handle, another vent right here. And the only thing that would hit my head on is right here in the corner, maybe. If you're off-road, that's about it. What a flaccid, sad-looking headrest. When you fold the third row down into the floor, there's a ton of room back here. But when you fold those seats up, this carpet is all the space you get behind the third row. Massive improvement in the overall interior look from the last generation LX. It looks like a luxury truck in here. There's no cheap materials anywhere. This brushed aluminum finish is really nice. There's the wireless charge pad. You have dual screens, so this one down here is for your climate control as well as all your off-road telemetry and driving telemetry stuff. Up above is your infotainment for your navigation, the music, stuff like that. Hands down, the best feature about this truck though is the 2400 watt 25 speaker Mark Levinson sound system. This thing is the best sound system in any vehicle I've ever tested to date. Camera button's over here on the left of the steering wheel. That's confusing. The center console lid, not only does it open from both sides, depending on where you grab it from, but inside here, you have a little refrigerator, cool box, which gives you a perfect location to store acai bowls. It's actually super deep too. You could put a tall water bottle in there. As far as downsides go with this thing, I know some people will not be happy that it no longer has a V8. I will say it definitely did improve fuel economy. It is noticeable. It does get a noticeable better amount on fuel economy than the V8 version of these giant Lexuses and the Land Cruisers did. I personally like the 3.4 liter twin turbo V6 in the Tundra. Ease of maintenance and engine longevity wise, it might not be on par with the V8, but the fact that this is a Toyota Lexus product, I really wouldn't worry about it as much. Other downside is the fact that overseas you can get this with smaller 18-inch wheels, which would be nice for selecting a better tire for off-roading, but my guess is most people are gonna buy one of these or hardly ever, if ever, going to take it off-road. It is now time to give this thing some scores in an actual particular order. That's something you don't hear people, that's a fly. You don't hear people say that a lot. Anyway, starting with the bean score, the assessment of feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. The LX600 F Sport gets a rating of, followed by the cookie score, the assessment of value, and this rig as equipped at just over $110,000 gets a rating of, followed by the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and it's getting a rating of. Next up is the meatball score, the assessment of off-road capability, and it's getting a rating of. And lastly, the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and it's getting a rating of. The real question is, now that they just unveiled the new Lexus GX, which one do you go for? Because that new GX looks good. I mean, I do like this, but that thing looks good. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.